Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live stream here. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the shorts that I've released this week, and talk a little bit about some things coming up. So develop a little bit of a theme over the week, having to do with the dominant seventh chords and some chord scales that we may use. It's nice to have a variety of things to pull from to just get different sounds going on some things. So anything from Mixolydian to the altered scale, and there are all lots of other kind of scales as well, but those are kind of too extreme. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that today. I'll also mention that I'm streaming on a couple different platforms here today. So hoping all goes well with that, but let me know if there are any issues. But I'll be keeping an eye on the chat. We had a pretty active group last or just this past Sunday. So what type of what do you all think about when you develop lines on 5-5-1? So let's say G 7 to C, for example. Let me know what you end up kind of going to. Do you have anything that you kind of lean on or default to, or do you have a couple of favorites? So one thing that's kind of interesting about major keys is that that 5. If you play simply play an arpeggio, the ear kind of hears those notes, and you start wanting to kind of hear this note. So this would be in the key of C. So that's kind of built into that Mixolydian sound. So if you have a G7, right? If you really kind of hit on these two notes, the F and the B, they're going to want to resolve, right? Whether you play them as pairs or if you play them as part of a melody. Right, so we get all that. Why are a magic mirror says why are private schools hiding symmetrical music from you? You'll have to expand on that. Let me know what you mean by that. Maybe I'm not familiar with that particular topic there, but that does raise a point here in our lines. We can play symmetrical type arpeggios. Mi descending is the exact same pattern as Do ascending. Okay. Yeah. So mi, re, do, and do, re, mi. I'll have to look that up. But if you have any more information on that, let me know. Appreciate it. All right. So dominant seventh chords. But you can really start. So there is, enough tension on the, if you play the chord tones and some of the tensions on strong beats, there's enough going on there to really resolve, right? So all right, yeah, thank you, Magic Mirror, for that. All right, so so yeah, we get that basic phenomenon, and one thing I like to recommend on that is to work at not only arpeggios but try out some pentatonic type thing. So thinking about 5 notes, so you could think about the dominant pentatonic, and then play maybe a major pentatonic on the C. Right, and just really get into the tone of the 5 to the 1. Because the thing, about the 7-note scales is you really kind of have to get that strong beat, weak beat thing going. It's sort of a time conditioned thing to put these notes into context. Otherwise, it's hard to get the sound of the harmony you're looking for. All right, Jonathan Mado writes in, seen your work. Appreciate the encouragement. That's great. So so once you kind of get into all that, then you may try to branch out into some other kind of cool things. So I'd recommend starting with major if you're looking for a starting place, and just kind of getting into that fa and ti, going to mi and do. Okay, so in the last live stream on Sunday, kind of had a little discussion about the nature of sound and the nature of music, and so we're getting into our perception of things. So we have a basic tendency. Our ears tend to hear this as something that feels unresolved, and then we'll hear that as something that is resolved. So mastering that really essential pattern of the 5-1 is a really kind of important thing. And so if you're starting with major scales, check out this scale, which would be the if you take and apply the harmonic major and apply that to the 5 chord, so you get a mixolydian with a flat 9. And if you've seen my current logo on the channel, that's this voicing here, which has a natural 13 and a flat 9. So we can tie those 2 things together. All right, well, I'm going to take a moment to ask for your thumbs up on this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, leave me a comment or something in the chat. Let me know how you're doing in general. Okay, we've got a Bob Marley quote. I was pretty big into Bob Marley. I mean, I still love his music. Um, didn't I'll try to think. There have been some covers, I think. The Lost Rights Planet Caravan. Now, Caravan is a tune where you could really try to stretch out on some dominant seventh type concepts and things as well. So let's talk a little bit about another kind of area to focus on, which would be the Phrygian dominant. So the Phrygian dominant is really useful. You can think of it in the context of the 5 of the relative minor. But you can also apply it to the 5 of the major as well. So it has a certain flavor, has a certain kind of sound to it. So let's just talk about some of the scale types and some of the modes that you can kind of pull from on that. We have the obviously the major scale, and we've got a go-to Mixolydian right in there. It's just built into it. And then if we want to use other kind of colors, or if we want to create a secondary dominant, or especially a 5 of the minor one, we need to make some changes to it. So you can think of some other scale types as being problem solver type scales. Zimba, hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you for following. You're visiting from Brazil. Appreciate it. Yeah. I'm keeping an eye on the chat, so if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. So maybe you're familiar with some other scale types. We have the harmonic major, which I just mentioned. We have the harmonic minor, which I mentioned. With the Phrygian dominant is one of the chord scales in that. So you take the natural minor, and you give yourself a leading tone on this. Okay, so we've got harmonic major, which gives us a nice way to handle maybe some of the Cole Porter repertoire and tunes, where you might have a minor 7 flat 5 and a G7 flat 9, and it resolves to C. So that is a little bit of a device that kind of utilizing that chord scale can help you kind of work through that, or help an improviser work through those particular changes. Not that it would have to only be that one. And then the harmonic minor is really great for just kind of staying in minor and then creating a leading tone back to the minor, right? So if we strictly are in, let's say, key of A minor, so no sharps, no flats, and then we play G, natural and a D, that's not going to draw us to A minor, and our ear won't experience that as a tonic. But if we change the G to a G sharp, then we have the tritone interval, which helps us to hear the A minor as a tonic, right? So it's not really built into the key signature, so we can use those tools. So you think about dominant seventh, some of the dominant seventh chords, chord scales as tools to help you achieve certain things, create a certain tension to a certain note, so that the music sort of, in a sense, gravitates to that. All right, I'll mention that I have a jazz guitar workshop, or really improvisation guitar workshop coming up this Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern time. And I've got limited seating for that. It's going to be on WebEx. And I think I've got it limited to like 10 seats or something like that. 8 or 10, I don't remember which, but I want to keep it kind of small so folks can ask questions and be able to participate with that. So check that out. I've got that in the link. I'm not sure if I linked that on Instagram. I may not have. I think I did on Facebook, but they should be here on the YouTube channel, so check that out. And I'm also just opening up private lessons to the followers here on the internet or online, so check that out. Mostly doing that kind of in the morning hours, but it's got a really quick, easy sign up, right? So you just click the link and fill out a really short form. They are paid programs, but it's really quick and easy to sign up. All right, so let's get back to our talk a little bit here. So another one of those kind of problem solver, you might say, scales is the melodic minor, and you can get a ton of use from melodic minor on a lot of different circumstances with harmony and improvisation, and being equipped with some chops on melodic minor will really get you far. So let's say we have a chord. Well, let's say we're staying in the key of no sharps and no flats, and we end up, let's say we end up on B flat, sharp 11. We're in a chord progression. We end up on this chord. We can use the melodic minor to outline a sharp 11, natural 13, and natural 9. So that's a really a nice circumstance where you can kind of pull from that. Another one is the superlocrian, or it was commonly called the altered scale. And this gets into a little bit of what we talked about on the channel last week, which is the tritone substitution. So if we take B flat, sharp 11, let's say we replace the B flat with the E, then we get E7. Okay, now we have two roots in there. So why don't we replace this top root with a sharp 11, right? Or we could do flat 9, or over the course of a few beats, we could do both, right? And that's where you can actually use the same exact collection of tones that we just used on the B flat, right? But when you assign the E as your root note, then that would be the altered scale. All right, let me see if I can get an easy translate here. I thought it had a sort of translate option, but let me see if I can translate. I thought YouTube had a translation tool. Oops. Let's see. Epiphone. Let me get the headstock in here for you. Thanks for asking. This is an Ibanez. It's an Ibanez AS200. I think from the late 2010s, I believe. All right. Thanks for your question. And I am sorry if I having trouble reading some of the comments. But thank you for writing in. I'll try to get a translate going when I can. Okay, I Make Things says, hello there. Hello, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Do appreciate it. So I'll be live streaming on Wednesdays, schedule permitting. Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and also Sundays, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I'm just starting a jazz guitar workshop online. And our very first one is going to be on Saturday at 2 o'clock, 90 minutes. There's a sign up in the description. And but limited seating, limited availability. But that's something. I think we'll see how the interest goes in it, and I may do do a little bit of that. I'd like to see it go into kind of a weekly sort of thing. Hi Ben, how's it going? I've got take 5 on the channel. I did do a video a ways back, so check that out. I Make Things says, my weird for having a whammy on a bass. What do you think? I say go for it if you like it. Yeah, it's funny. I've never even thought about that. Yeah, I'd have to ask John, my bass player friend, who we do some duo talks here, what his thoughts are on that. I don't know. I would say if you like it and think it's cool, to go for it. I'm not sure if you'd get into any technical problems with that. I mean, you do have probably, some tension issues with that. You might need some really strong Springs, I don't really know. I don't do guitar tech stuff, but I generally try, though. It doesn't stop me from trying, but soldering and doing some of those stuff, some of those things, sometimes I just gotta stay away from that. All right, everybody. Well, I'm gonna do some noodling. I'll hang out for a few more minutes. Thanks for joining me today. It seems like things went fairly smoothly. I did stream, kind of technically four places. We had the horizontal live stream on YouTube, the vertical live stream on YouTube, and then I did some vertical streams on Facebook and Instagram. If I can figure out how to go live on Twitter or X. Did they completely lose the Twitter, or is it still Twitter? Or is it now just X? I don't know, formerly known as Twitter. I'll noodle around anyway. But let me know how you're all doing. And please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment, leave a question. I make things says the only problems were with the bridges and the tension mainly. Yeah, that's what I would think. And finding someone who makes that, or if you could machine it yourself. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna ask my friend John on that. Hopefully, I'm gonna get him back on some of these live streams and things. And if I can get this guitar workshop up and running here, and get some interest in it, I may hire him as well to help with comments and questions and get dialogues going and stuff like that. Keep me from rambling, maybe. All right. Okay, well, thanks so much for stopping by, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Do appreciate it. Subscribe and like. Sorry if I'm saying that a bit too often, but it does help out the channel. Spread the word, and trying to bring some improvisation knowledge out to the world here. Let's see, we got the setup on my bass is what people call weird, mainly the whammy, and it has old 70 pickups on the strings. Oh, that's cool. That is pretty neat. I would say that's pretty awesome. Love to see that. All right, everybody. Thanks again. I'll be back on Sunday morning, 10:30 Eastern time. Keep an eye out for some shorts. I'm trying to get shorts out pretty much daily. Planning to record a chord melody on Crimea River. I've got a little bit of a simple arrangement going for that. And so I'll have that out, I'm hoping, in a couple of days. I'll take a quick question here. Amos says, good morning, everyone. Yeah, good morning. How's it going? Do a progression with a sharp 9 and a sharp 5 thrown in there. Yeah, absolutely. So, you could play E7 with a sharp 9 and a sharp 5. And you can resolve that to maybe an A minor 9 would be a nice spot to work at that on, right? Because you get the sharp 5 can go to the 9 nicely. So you could even kind of move things around. Do sharp 9 and then maybe do a flat 9. You want to do that. A nice 5-1 in minor there. You could also do it in major. All right. Got another hello from Brazil. All right. Welcome. Thanks. All right, everybody. Well, I'm sorry for those folks who are just joining, but I'm calling it a day here for today. But thanks for checking this out. Do hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Be sure to follow me on all the usual social media platforms. Thanks.